I found my wife's secret apartment that she's been keeping for her affair partner using our joint account. Then she said she needed space to think. Now she has all the space she wants and none of my money. I canceled every card linked to our joint account the second I walked out of that apartment. Not my apartment, not our apartment, her apartment. The one she'd been renting for 8 months using our money while I thought we were saving for a house. The one where I found her affair partner's clothes in the closet, his toothbrush by the sink, and a framed photo of them on the nightstand. I found it by accident, complete accident. My wife told me she had a work dinner and would be home late. I was grabbing coffee near her office around 7 p.m. when I saw her getting into her car. I almost called out to her, but something felt off. She looked nervous, kept checking her phone, so I followed her. She drove 20 minutes across town to this apartment complex I'd never seen before. Parked, went inside. I waited 10 minutes, then went to the building entrance. The directory showed her last name on unit 304, her maiden name, the one she stopped using 3 years ago when we got married. I should have left, but I had the main door code because someone was coming out and I caught it. Took the elevator up, knocked on 304. She answered, face went white. What are you doing here? Not a question, a statement, like I was the one in the wrong place. What am I doing here? What the hell is this place? She tried to block the doorway, but I could see past her. Men's shoes by the door, a leather jacket I'd never seen. Then some guy walked out from the bedroom, tall, younger than me, wearing sweatpants and nothing else. Babe, who is it? He said, then he saw me. Oh shit. My wife grabbed my arm. We need to talk about this somewhere else. I pulled away from her. Talk about what? About how you're spending our money on a love nest, about how you've been lying to me for months. It's not like that. Then what is it like? The guy started putting on a shirt. My wife turned to him. Go in the bedroom, please. I'm not going anywhere until someone explains what the hell I'm looking at, I said. She got this look on her face, defensive, angry almost. You have no right to follow me. This is my private space. Your private space? I just checked our bank account on my phone. We've been paying $1,800 a month for this place. That's our money, my money. For what? So you can play house with this guy? The affair partner came back out, fully dressed now. Look man, I didn't know she was married. My wife spun around. Don't talk to him. You told me you were divorced, he said to her. You said it was finalized last year. That hit different. She wasn't just cheating. She'd built an entire fake life, told this guy she was single while coming home to me every night. Get out, she said to me. This is my apartment and you're not welcome here. Your apartment? Check the bank statement. Check who's been paying for this. She followed me into the hallway. The guy stayed inside. She pulled the door closed behind her. I need space to think, she said. Space to think. Yes, about us, about what I want. This has been really confusing for me. I actually laughed, couldn't help it. Confusing for you. Don't be like this. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I'm making this hard? You've been lying to me for months. You spent our savings on an apartment for another man, and I'm the one making this difficult. She crossed her arms. I think we should separate for a while. Give me time to figure out what I want. You want space? Fine. You've got all the space you want now. I took out my phone right there in the hallway, opened the banking app, started removing her access to every account. What are you doing? She said. Giving you space without my money. You can't do that. That's our money. Was our money, now it's my money. You can pay for your little love apartment yourself. Her face changed, panic mode. Wait, stop, we can talk about this. Nothing to talk about. You wanted space to think. Go think in your apartment that you'll be paying for. I canceled the joint credit cards while walking to my car, transferred everything from joint savings to my personal account, changed the passwords on every shared account we had. By the time I got home, she'd called me 14 times. I didn't answer. She showed up at the house 2 hours later. I'd already changed the locks. She banged on the door. Let me in, I live here. I opened the door but stood in the doorway. Not anymore, you don't. You can't kick me out of my own house. Check the deed, house is in my name. My parents helped with the down payment, you're not on it. Her face crumpled, started crying. Please, I made a mistake, can we just talk about this? You made a lot of mistakes for 8 months, using my money the whole time. Where am I supposed to go? You have an apartment, go there. I can't afford that place on my own. Then I guess you better talk to your boyfriend about splitting rent. She tried to push past me, I blocked her. I'm getting my things. No, you're not. Everything in this house was bought with my money. You can come back tomorrow with a police escort if you want your personal items. This is insane, you're being cruel. I'm being cruel? You've been living a double life for almost a year and I'm the cruel one. She left, kept calling, I blocked her number. She started texting from other numbers. Her mom called me, her sister, I blocked all of them. 2 days later I got served with separation papers. She was demanding half of everything. The house, the cars, my retirement account, all of it. I got a lawyer, a good one, brought all the bank statements showing the apartment payments, showed the text messages I'd found on the cloud where she'd been coordinating with the affair partner, showed proof that the house was solely in my name. Her lawyer tried to argue she was entitled to marital assets. My lawyer pointed out that she'd been fraudulently spending marital funds on an extramarital affair for 8 months and that I had grounds for a fault divorce. The affair partner dumped her 3 weeks into the separation. She called me from yet another number begging to reconcile. I ended things with him. We can start over, go to counseling, fix this. There's nothing to fix. You destroyed this marriage, now you get to live with it. I was confused. I made mistakes, but I love you. I want to come home. You don't have a home here anymore. She started showing up at my work, my gym, my parents' house. I filed for a restraining order, got it approved. The divorce finalized last month. She got nothing, no house, no cars, no retirement. She had to pay her own legal fees. The judge was not sympathetic to someone who'd committed financial infidelity while carrying on an affair. Last I heard, she's living with her parents and working 2 jobs to pay off the credit card debt she racked up trying to maintain her fake life. My parents think I should have been more forgiving, that everyone makes mistakes, that marriage is about working through hard times. But I keep thinking about her face when she told me I had no right to be at her apartment, the one I was paying for, the entitlement, the nerve to ask for space to think after getting caught. Am I wrong for cutting her off completely and making sure she got nothing in the divorce? I got a text from her sister yesterday that made me throw my phone across the room. She's in the hospital, overdose, they're not sure she's going to make it, thought you should know. I stared at that message for 20 minutes, part of me felt nothing, part of me felt sick, I didn't respond. She lived, of course she lived. Her sister sent another message 6 hours later saying she was stable and asking if I'd visit. I blocked that number too. But here's the thing that's been eating at me. I found out why she really started the affair, and it's so much worse than I thought. My buddy from college reached out 2 weeks ago, said he needed to tell me something. We met for coffee and he looked uncomfortable as hell. I saw your ex at a bar last month before everything went down with you guys. She was drunk and started talking to me, didn't recognize me at first. Okay. She told me she'd been planning to leave you for over a year, that she met this guy at her company retreat and they'd been together since then, but she couldn't leave because she needed to establish residency in the apartment first. I didn't understand, residency for what? For the divorce. She talked to a lawyer before she ever rented that place, was told if she could prove she'd been living separately for a certain amount of time, she'd have a stronger case for getting half your stuff. The apartment wasn't just for the affair, it was strategy. That hit different. She wasn't confused, wasn't making mistakes. She'd been planning to take me for everything while using my money to set it up. There's more, he said. She told me she was keeping you around until she could get her name on the house deed, said she was working on convincing you to add her and then she'd file. I actually felt cold, like ice water in my veins. Why are you telling me this now? Because I felt guilty. I should have said something sooner, but I didn't know if you'd believe me. Then I saw your divorce went through and figured you should know what you were really dealing with. I thanked him, went home, looked through old emails and texts with fresh eyes. She'd been asking about the house deed for months, casual questions. Don't you think we should both be on it? What if something happens to you? I'd brushed it off every time, said we'd deal with it eventually. She'd also been the one pushing for us to open a joint investment account, wanted me to move my retirement savings into it, said it would be easier to manage our future together. I'd said no because my financial advisor told me it was a bad idea. Every financial decision she'd pushed for over the last year I'd resisted, not because I suspected anything, just because I'm cautious with money. My parents drilled that into me growing up. I dodged a bullet without even knowing I was in the line of fire. The affair partner found me on social media 3 days ago, sent me a long message. I know you have no reason to believe me, but I really didn't know she was married. She showed me divorce papers, fake ones I guess, told me her ex was abusive and she was starting over. I feel like an idiot. She took money from me too, said she needed help with rent while waiting for her settlement to come through. I gave her $4,000, just thought you should know she's doing this to other people. I showed my lawyer, he said we might be able to use it if she tried to appeal the divorce settlement, showed a pattern of fraud. Her mother showed up at my work last week. Security had to escort her out. She was screaming in the lobby about how I'd driven her daughter to attempt suicide. How I was cruel and heartless, how her daughter made one mistake and I destroyed her entire life over it. My boss pulled me aside after, asked if I needed time off. I said no. He said the offer stood if things got worse. Things did get worse. Her father called me from a number I didn't have blocked, started calm, asked if we could talk man to man. She's my daughter, I know she screwed up, but she's struggling, lost her job, can't afford therapy, the overdose was a cry for help. That's not my problem anymore. Have some compassion, you loved her once. I loved someone who didn't exist. The person I was married to was a liar and a thief. She's talking about killing herself, for real this time, can you live with that? I hung up, but that question has been stuck in my head for days. Can I live with it? My therapist says I'm not responsible for her choices, that she's using suicide threats as manipulation, that I need to maintain boundaries. But what if she actually does it? What if I wake up one day and get a call that she's dead and it's because I wouldn't give her another chance? My friends are split, half say I did the right thing, protected myself, she was using me and deserved everything she got. The other half think I went too far, that I could have been more forgiving, let her get some money in the divorce at least so she wasn't destitute. I keep going back to that moment in the hallway outside her apartment, the way she looked at me like I was the intruder, like I had no right to question her. She wanted space to think. Well, she's got it now, all the space in the world, living with her parents at 34, working retail and waitressing to survive, no apartment, no affair partner, no husband, nothing. I thought I'd feel better about that, thought there'd be satisfaction in watching her face the consequences of her choices. Instead, I just feel empty and guilty, like maybe I should have been the bigger person. Am I wrong for not caring if she's struggling, for refusing to throw her a lifeline even when her own family is begging me to help? She showed up at my parents' house with a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, some guy in an expensive suit who handed my dad papers through the doorway while my ex stood behind him looking smug. My mom called me immediately. You need to come over right now, she's trying to sue you for emotional distress or something. The papers mention defamation and financial abuse. I got there in 15 minutes, they were gone but the papers were real. She was claiming I'd slandered her to her employer and caused her termination. That I'd financially abused her during the marriage by controlling all the money. That the stress of the divorce caused her mental breakdown and I owed her damages. My lawyer laughed when I sent him photos of the filing. This won't go anywhere, she committed fraud, we have documentation but we'll need to respond anyway. It'll cost you a few thousand in legal fees. More money, more time, more of her trying to bleed me dry even after everything. But here's what she didn't know, I'd been documenting everything since the separation, every text from her family. Every time she showed up somewhere I was, every threat and manipulation attempt. My lawyer said to keep records and I did. The hearing got scheduled for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, her family ramped up the harassment campaign. Her brother came to my gym, waited in the parking lot until I came out. We need to talk. No, we don't. He blocked my car door, she's my sister, you're destroying her over one mistake. One mistake that lasted 8 months and cost me thousands of dollars. Move. What kind of man throws away his wife like garbage? She loved you. She loved my money, there's a difference. Last warning, move or I'm calling the cops. He didn't move, I called, he left before they arrived but I filed a report anyway. My lawyer added it to the file. Her former affair partner contacted me again, said she'd been harassing him too, showing up at his work, his apartment, claiming he owed her money for emotional damages. He'd filed for a restraining order and wanted to know if I'd be a witness. I said yes. The restraining order hearing happened before our court date. I showed up and testified about what I knew, how she'd lied to both of us, how she'd been running a long con on me while pretending to be divorced to him. The judge granted the order, 2 years, she couldn't contact him at all. She tried to spin it like we were conspiring against her, posted on social media about how her ex-husband and former boyfriend were teaming up to ruin her life, how men always protect each other, how she was the real victim. Her friends started commenting on my social media, calling me abusive, saying I was a narcissist who'd manipulated everyone into thinking she was the bad guy. I made everything private and blocked anyone connected to her. My buddy who told me about her plan at the bar got a message from her. She said she'd sue him for slander if he kept spreading lies about her. He forwarded it to me, we forwarded it to my lawyer. She's digging herself deeper, my lawyer said. Every threat, every contact, it all supports our case that she's harassing you. The court date finally came. I showed up with my lawyer and a folder of documentation 3 inches thick, bank statements, text messages, emails, photos of the apartment. Testimony from the affair partner, everything. She showed up with her budget lawyer and her mother. Her lawyer tried to argue I'd isolated her financially during the marriage, that I'd controlled all the money and she had no access to funds. My lawyer pulled out joint account statements showing she had full access and spending privileges the entire time, showed the apartment lease she signed, the payments coming from our account, asked how someone with no financial access could rent a secret apartment for 8 months. Her lawyer had no response. Then they tried the emotional distress angle, said my actions after discovering the affair were cruel and calculated, that I'd turned her family against her. My lawyer presented the text messages from her family harassing me, the incident reports from her brother confronting me, her mother causing a scene at my workplace, asked the judge who was really being harassed here. The judge looked tired. This case has no merit. The defendant has provided substantial evidence of the plaintiff's fraudulent activity during the marriage. The plaintiff has provided no credible evidence of defamation or abuse. Case dismissed. The plaintiff will pay court costs. She started crying, loud, dramatic sobs. Her mother put an arm around her. Her lawyer tried to say something else, but the judge cut him off. We're done here. The plaintiff is advised to cease all contact with the defendant or face potential harassment charges. Next case. We walked out. She screamed at me in the hallway. This isn't over, you haven't won anything, you're going to regret this. Building security moved her along. My lawyer told me to document that too. I thought that would be the end, it wasn't. 2 weeks later, I found out she'd contacted my employer directly, sent them an email claiming I was unstable and dangerous, that I'd threatened her life, that they should be aware they were employing someone capable of violence. My boss called me in, showed me the email, asked me straight up if any of it was true. I showed him everything: the divorce papers, the restraining order her affair partner had gotten, the dismissed lawsuit, the police reports from her family harassing me. He nodded. That's what I figured. We're not taking action, but I wanted to hear your side. She can't contact us again or we'll pursue legal action against her. How much more can one person take before they break? How many times can someone come at you before you're allowed to fight back without being called the villain? Everyone keeps telling me to be the bigger person, to let it go, to stop engaging, but I'm not engaging. She keeps coming after me and I keep having to defend myself, and somehow I'm still the bad guy for not just rolling over and taking it. Am I supposed to just let her destroy my life piece by piece until there's nothing left? I found out she's been telling people I hit her. My cousin called me at work yesterday, said she ran into my ex at the grocery store and my ex broke down crying in the middle of the produce section, told her I was physically abusive during the marriage, that she was afraid to leave because I threatened to kill her if she did, that the affair was her only escape from a violent situation. I didn't believe her, my cousin said, but she was really convincing, had other people around her nodding and comforting her. I just thought you should know what she's saying. I felt sick, actually had to sit down in my car for 20 minutes before I could drive home. She's claiming I abused her, physical abuse, the kind of accusation that destroys lives even when it's proven false, the kind that makes people look at you differently forever. I called my lawyer immediately. He said we needed to act fast. If she's making these claims publicly, we need documentation of everywhere she's said it and everyone who heard it. Then we consider a defamation suit. I started reaching out to people, asking if they'd heard anything. Turns out she'd been spreading this story for weeks. My neighbor heard it at the community center. A guy from my old job saw a post in a local Facebook group. She'd even told the barista at the coffee shop near my house. Each person gave me the same basic story. I was violent, controlling. She feared for her life. The affair was her crying out for help. My therapist had to squeeze me in for an emergency session. I was spiraling. She's rewriting history, I told him, making herself the victim and me the monster, and people are believing her. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? I never touched her, not once. We didn't even fight that much before I found out about the apartment. Then that's your defense: truth, documentation. Let your lawyer handle the legal side. But here's the thing about accusations like this: they stick, even when they're proven false. Even when the person making them gets caught lying, there's always that whisper of doubt that maybe where there's smoke there's fire. My employer called me in again, different conversation this time. We've received some concerning information from community members, allegations of domestic violence. My stomach dropped from my ex-wife, who I'm already dealing with legally for harassment. We have to take these things seriously. I showed him everything again, plus the new documentation of her spreading lies. He said he believed me, but that HR would need to do a formal review, put me on paid administrative leave pending investigation. I'm on leave from my job because my ex-wife is telling everyone I beat her. My parents are devastated. My mom keeps crying. My dad wants to confront her directly, but my lawyer said absolutely not. Any contact could be twisted into more ammunition. Her family doubled down. Her mother posted on Facebook about how abuse victims are never believed, how society always sides with the abuser. Didn't name me directly, but everyone knew who she meant. The post got shared 40 times. I documented it, screenshot everything, sent it all to my lawyer. Then her sister showed up at my house, stood on the porch and screamed at me through the door. You think you can just ruin her life and get away with it? Everyone knows what you did to her. You're going to pay for what you put her through. I recorded it on my phone, called the police. They came and took a report, but said unless she made specific threats, there wasn't much they could do. My lawyer filed for an emergency restraining order, hearing scheduled for next week. But the damage is done. My work is investigating me for domestic violence. My reputation in the community is destroyed. People I've known for years are looking at me like I'm a monster. And she's out there playing the survivor, getting sympathy and support while I'm losing everything. I ran into someone from my gym at the gas station. He wouldn't even make eye contact with me, just paid and left quickly, like I was dangerous. This is what she wanted: not money, not the house. She wanted to destroy me completely, and it's working. My lawyer says we have a strong defamation case, that her lies are documented and provably false, that she's caused measurable damage to my reputation and career. But how do you prove a negative? How do I prove I never hit her? There's no evidence of something that didn't happen. She knows that. She's counting on it. The restraining order hearing is in 4 days. My work investigation wraps up in 2 weeks. My lawyer wants to file the defamation suit immediately after we get the restraining order. I'm existing in this limbo where my entire life is on hold while she keeps attacking. My buddy from college called yesterday, said he saw her at a bar telling the same story to anyone who would listen, how she escaped an abusive marriage. How she's rebuilding her life, how brave she is. People were buying her drinks, offering her support, treating her like a hero. I wanted to go there and confront her, scream the truth in front of everyone. My lawyer said that would be the worst possible thing I could do. So I sit here waiting while she destroys everything I've built. Am I supposed to just take this, just let her tell everyone I'm an abuser and hope the legal system eventually clears my name? How do you fight back against lies when fighting back makes you look guilty? She got arrested 3 days ago. The restraining order hearing happened first. I showed up with my lawyer and every piece of documentation we had. Her lawyer tried to argue that I was the one harassing her, that my refusal to reconcile was causing her emotional distress. The judge asked for evidence of my harassment. They had nothing, no texts, no calls, no emails, because I hadn't contacted her once since the divorce finalized. My lawyer presented our evidence, the messages from her family, the incident at my workplace, her sister screaming on my porch, the false abuse allegations she'd been spreading. The judge granted a 3-year restraining order, no contact whatsoever. She couldn't come within 500 feet of my home or workplace. She stood up in the courtroom and started yelling. This is ridiculous, he's the abusive one, he's the one who should be kept away from me. The judge told her to sit down, she didn't, kept yelling about how the system protects men and punishes women, how I'd manipulated everyone. Bailiff had to remove her from the courtroom. She was still screaming in the hallway when we left. My lawyer filed the defamation suit the next day. We're suing for damages related to my job investigation, reputational harm, and emotional distress. He said we had one of the strongest cases he'd seen because she'd been so public and so provably false with her claims. But that's not why she got arrested. Turns out while she was busy destroying my reputation, she forgot to pay attention to her own legal problems. The affair partner she'd scammed out of $4,000, he filed charges. Fraud, she'd shown him fake divorce papers and taken his money under false pretenses. Police showed up at her parents' house with a warrant. She tried to run, got tackled in the front yard by 2 officers while neighbors watched. My cousin sent me the video, someone recorded it and posted it to the community Facebook group. You can hear her screaming that she's the victim, that everyone is conspiring against her. She spent 2 nights in jail before her parents posted bail. Arraignment is next month. My work investigation wrapped up yesterday, completely cleared. They found 0 evidence of any abuse and substantial evidence that the allegations were fabricated as part of a harassment campaign. I'm back at work Monday. My boss apologized for having to put me through the investigation, said he knew it was probably false but that HR policy required they take it seriously. I told him I understood. The community is starting to figure out what really happened. People who believed her abuse story are seeing the arrest, seeing the restraining order, putting pieces together. Her mother's Facebook post got taken down after multiple people reported it for harassment. Her sister deleted all her social media accounts after someone dug up her arrest record from 10 years ago and started sharing it around. The affair partner reached out again, said he felt guilty for not seeing through her lies sooner, that if he'd known she was married he never would have gotten involved. I told him we were both victims of the same con artist. My parents are relieved. My mom keeps saying she knew the truth would come out eventually. My dad wants to countersue everyone who spread the abuse allegations, but my lawyer said to focus on her and let the rest fade away. I'm supposed to feel vindicated. Everyone keeps telling me justice is being served, that she's finally facing consequences for everything she did. But mostly I just feel tired. Tired of the constant fighting, tired of defending myself, tired of proving I'm not a monster. Tired of watching someone I once loved spiral into this desperate, destructive person who would rather burn everything down than accept responsibility. She had so many chances to just walk away, to accept the divorce and move on. Instead, she chose to keep attacking, keep lying, keep trying to destroy me. And now she's facing fraud charges, a defamation lawsuit, a restraining order, and complete social isolation. Her parents are the only people who still talk to her. She lost her jobs, her friends, her reputation, everything. I didn't want this, I just wanted her out of my life. My therapist says I need to let go of the guilt, that her choices led to her consequences, that I was defending myself, not attacking her. But I still think about that first night, standing outside her secret apartment, the way she looked at me like I was interrupting her life instead of discovering her betrayal. If she'd just been honest then, if she'd admitted what she'd done and worked out a fair separation, none of this had to happen. Instead, she chose to fight, to manipulate, to lie, to try to destroy me when she couldn't control me anymore. And now she's sitting in her parents' house with an ankle monitor waiting for trial, while I'm rebuilding the life she tried to tear apart. I don't know if I won, feels like we both lost, just she lost everything and I only lost 2 years and some money. People keep asking if I'm happy she's facing justice. I'm not happy, I'm just done. Done being angry, done being hurt, done giving her any more space in my head. She wanted space to think all those months ago. Well, she's got all the space she could ever need now, and all the time in the world to think about how she got there.